And now for something completely different.
Is there a trope, a horror like kind of character, like a cryptid, whatever, that's missing from the game? Or if they're gonna ever make a Darkstalkers sequel, what is there like a type of creature? It's like, oh, it'd be cool if you could get that in there.
I can think of one.
I want Mothman.
Mothman, absolutely.
I want Mothman. That's all I want.
And you get his fucking huge ass in there too.
Come on, guys. It's one of the most iconic Universal monsters Capcom hasn't done yet.
I mean, I hate to be the one to say it, but there's like an obvious, character archetype horror trope that is not in there that is pretty popular.
Come on, Max. Say it.
And the Ringu character has already been done. And it's in Killer Instinct.
Which one's that?
Yeah, Hisako.
Well,
Hisako.
yeah, just
it's like Shangto is like the fun version of Hisako. Chinese ghost.
It's from Ringu, right? The Ring.
Yeah, Ring. Yeah,
like the Japanese version. Yeah.
The general term would be I guess Japanese rage or vengeance ghost, one that's just pissed.
That's usually a little girl or something.
It's because the dichotomy, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of girl that keeps to herself, but then when she gets killed or whatever.
That's just Carrie. I just realized that's just Carrie.
A little bit, yeah. I was gonna say though, if I would say Jeddah is the most edgy you get in Darkstalkers, right? And there's something fun about getting a really edgy character, like say a Japanese vengeance ghost, but it's hilarious for them to be in Darkstalkers.
Yeah.
I like that playfulness, or they're stuck in this world. They can't be too edgy, they can't be doing anything, but they're Felicia will be like, come on, let's go have some fun. And the vengeance ghost is it's hilarious. It works so well in that way. So I wouldn't mind some really edgy character, but I was going to say something Baba Yaga, a Slavic, European style, mythological creature, something like that, from that part of the world.
Yeah.
There could be something like that in there. If you look back at every Castlevania game, there probably is someone you could throw in there.
Does Darkstalkers have an alien?
Pyron.
Yes,
Pyron's technically an alien. He's he's more of an ethereal, other dimensional creature sort of thing, right?
In the lore, I don't know. I tried to make sure I had my Darkstalkers lore brushed up going into this. So I was like, okay, let me read everything, all the synopsis. And it's Makai is another world, but Makai is also the god of the world, and Pyron's an alien. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, so he's just an alien. Okay. I don't know if he was some eldritch horror type shit.
Well, that's that's
you
one
go.
You could put right there. You could put an old one god that's been in Earth, in a cave, or I don't know, whatever.
Guys, there's one obvious monster left that Darkstalkers forgot.
I think the character's name is Marionette, but it's a weird code, a weird code.
It's
thing
a red
you have to
venom
put
code
in.
or some weird shit like that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, nothing that you would ever There's no viability. There's nothing this is a better version or something. It's just a weird thing.
Well, it's kind of around the time frame where they can just fill the roster a little bit with crazy alternate colors between Armored Spider-Man and D and stuff like that. We just change the color of Dimitri and all of a sudden he's a different character,
When you said Marionette earlier, that made me think it'd be cool in Darkstalkers that have an actual automaton or a doll or a toy that creaks and cracks.
Like a Chucky?
It doesn't have to be a buddy doll from a kid's store, but like a Pinocchio almost type of thing, a construct that has you could lobby that Hootizle is kind of like that. I never know how to say Hootizle's name.
Guys, it's the most obvious thing. How can you miss this? Oh my gosh.
So before we move on away from Darkstalkers, as we spent 30 minutes talking about it, I can't help but get everyone's general broad perspective on this. If Darkstalkers was made with modern day considerations, with an RE engine, right? Do we have creepy cell phone killer? Do we have Scream guy? How the hell does a modern day Darkstalkers work? Because the only thing we know about the Darkstalkers roster literally comes from the mid 90s for the most part.
Yeah.
So like how do you think that's even possible to create a Darkstalkers game that teeters on that Animaniacs level of like, I'm going to cut the fish man into sushi? Do you think that like works because of the time frame, or do you think there's like a possibility of doing like a super violent, sexy, Mortal Kombat-y kind of like Darkstalkers from Capcom nowadays?
I definitely think you could have like a slasher, like American
Jason,
slasher,
right?
some sort of equivalent, like a human that maybe has like being possessed by something, but he just has like a knife or like a bladed weapon or whatever, because that is such a trope that Darkstalkers didn't have. But like now it's like so ingrained in horror culture of some type of character with like mythology, and you can even get crazier, like something like Candyman, where where it's like it's a human, but it has lore behind him, and like he's invincible or has
Krampus
powers
or
or
something
whatever.
like that.
You could probably do a Medusa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good one.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm stepping in on this one. It's time to think about Halloween, and I can think of no better subject than Darkstalkers. Growing up as a kid, I've always been fascinated about character designing, coming up with exciting ways for my imagination to go ham on creating my own stories with fascinating characters. And the biggest influence has always been Capcom. From the Mega Man series to Street Fighter to the MVC series to Techromancer and even to Breath of Fire. But as a kid in the arcade scene, the one game that always fascinated me, character-wise, had to be Darkstalkers. Just one look at Sasquatch to Anakaris to Felicia and the others, I was hooked on this series. So much flair went to their art and animation that amazes me to this day, and the origins behind it are even more fascinating. It's something that shouldn't have existed, but miraculously did. The fact that Capcom of Japan and USA teaming up to create original versions of Universal Monsters and other spooky OCs, and make it their second fighting game IP, then becoming one of the most beloved fighting games of all time, was magical. Sadly though, the series died, with no sign of resurrection yet. It's quite sad in a way, but there's still a sliver of hope across the Scarlet Moon horizon. What does that look like? Don't know, but we'll find out. But its loyal fan base will be there. And I, being one of them, shall pay homage to it by creating an OC based on Darkstalkers. Many have created OCs in the past, but there's just one character in particular that was so obvious, I guessed everyone on planet Earth missed. It's one of the most iconic in the Universal Monster movies. It fits the fan service mold Japan idolizes, and it's the only iconic female of the Universal Monster series. Yes, it's the Bride of Frankenstein. How did everyone miss this character? How did Capcom miss this character? No matter, I caught the obvious. But in order to do that, we're going to have to do a lot of research on Darkstalkers, its origins, its concept designs, and including its lore. And it's going to be 10 episodes long. I know, but bro, if you're gonna roll up here and try to invade in someone else's IP to create your own OC in that, you better know your lore, dude. You better know what that thing backwards and forwards and inside and out to make it look like it belongs there. You don't want to look like Warner Brothers or Disney or those dumb bitches working at 343 Industries where they done Halo dirty, dude.
Why are you gay?
Bro, nobody wants to look like 343 Industries. There's no ring on their fingers. Heck, they're like Black Widows. The first sign of man, they'll kill them and eat them.
Women.
And look, I'm trying to get this Halloween video done, and I take way too much time on my videos. Everyone says so I gotta stop, dude. For everyone's sake. But this won't be some ordinary concept design OC. No. This will start from conception to animation of fight sequences to actually coding it into a Darkstalkers game. And that's just season 1. The rest of the series is to make even more characters and to make a fleshed out Darkstalkers fan game that could even get Capcom's attention on this. Hey, dream big or go home. Yeah, we're going ham on this series, so I'll see you in the next one, alright? Real soon. Peace, and happy Halloween! Or something. I don't know. I'm tired. Go away.